So Andy, what's the worst job you've ever had?
Strippogram. You weren't expecting that, were you? That was a strippogram, not a... You got a horrible image in your head now, haven't you?
Hey, I'm Beth from Jazzy B Fitness, and for Boxercise's 30th birthday, I'm going to be asking Andy Wake himself, the founder of Boxercise, 30 questions, and he's only got 30 seconds to answer each one. So Andy, how many people have you taught Boxercise to over the 30 years?
Over 30 years I've taught 18,000 personally, over 1,141 courses, but I've been responsible for the development of 29,000.
Wow. So what are your favourite memories of Boxercise?
Mostly the favourite memories are actually teaching people that find it difficult. If they find something difficult to do and I'm able to help them to be able to do that, they're the best memories. But probably the best memory, individual memory, would be teaching in Kenya to, there's an orphanage there called Starehe Boys School. There's 1,200 people all took part in a Boxercise class there. And we taught 1,200 of them all in one go. And most of them were AIDS orphans. The RAF were kind enough to fly out a load of kit, and we were able to supply the entire school with kit, and they still run it now, 26 years later.
So what are your favourite places to teach Boxercise?
My favourite is to do it overseas. I spend a bit of time learning the language. I've been learning Chinese, so one of my favourite places to go is Taiwan. Also Italy, the people are particularly warm, really, really friendly, and I really, really love teaching in Italy. In the UK, London, because it's a big venue, massive atmosphere, but of all the places, Newcastle, because then I can talk normally, because for me English is a second language. So if I'm talking now, I'm talking slow, like a French person speaks English. If I'm talking normal in Geordie, I just talk fast, and I can do that only in Newcastle.
Next question for you, Andy. Were you good at school?
This is an interesting question, actually. No, I was arguably a very bad role model. Don't follow this example. Kids, stay in school. I never handed in a piece of homework from the age of about 14, not one. And I was a massive underachiever at school. I left with 7 O-levels, the equivalent of GCSEs, and 2 A-levels. And I did very well at university. Where I went 5 years later, but no, I spent most of my time messing around, not working very hard, and I just found it boring. So I didn't do any revision for exams. I just cruised through it and did what I did. And much to my chagrin, because my daughter is a straight A student, and she's showing what I should have done and could have done had I actually tried a lot harder. So yeah, I was not good at school. I was lazy.
It's proof that sometimes you don't have to be, with all the success you've had.
Yeah. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school. Stay in school. Don't follow my example.
So Andy, what's the worst job you've ever had?
Strippogram. You weren't expecting that, were you? That was a strippogram. Not a stripper where I get down, but you get down to certain things. So I'd go along and they'd say, there was, I'd go along and you have Velcro down your pants and stuff, and you wind someone up and say, whose car is F13KYR? And then you get annoyed, and I'm like, well, you've parked right in front of me, and then they get wound up, and then you quickly whip it off, rip off your shirt, and then you sing them happy birthday, give them flowers, and off you go. What was the worst? That was quite funny. And one time I actually got to be the milk tray man, and I had to go into this place dressed in black with a knife in my teeth, and the people that walked by the office, I think they must have thought I was some lunatic, and they started phoning, and I went, shh, and I went, milk tray, and they all came out to watch, and that was really quite funny. But what I didn't like about the job was that when you go into factories, that you've got lots of people pawing at you and trying to pull your pants off.
Right.
And that, I think, is degrading either to a man or a woman, and I don't think it's appropriate. So for that reason, I would say that's the worst.
Okay.
I'd say that's the worst.
That was a surprise. I loved that. Thanks, Andy.
You've got a horrible image in your head now, haven't you?
So, Andy, what's the funniest story you've got for us about Boxercise over these 30 years?
Right, this is really good, actually, and even my wife laughs at this one, and she's much more serious than me. The funniest story ever, we were practicing, and I often tell people that when you're doing your punches, when you're teaching, you need two faces. You've got to have your smiley, presenting face where you're like this, and then you've got to have your, as I term it, and please, if there are children watching this, just turn the sound down now, you've got to have your fuck you face, which is when you're going to get it on and work hard. And I'd been practicing my Italian. I'm not bad at speaking Italian. And I was over in Italy teaching, and there was this lady there, and she'd been practicing her English. And I said, on the last drill I give you today, you're really going to give me your fuck you face. And anyway, at the very end of it, she just finished it, and she goes, that was so hard. Now I've really got my fuck me face on. And she got it the wrong way around. The whole place, even though it was in Italian, they all laughed. I laughed, and we were laughing for, I don't know, half an hour after, and it still gives me something funny to tell. That's 15 years later. So yeah, I think that's the standout moment is that one.
I love that. Thanks, Andy. So Andy, who's your favourite actor or actress?
Most of the time, I would say Denzel Washington is my favourite actor, though it does sometimes switch. Favourite actress, it's got to be Judi Dench. Dame Judi Dench, especially when she's in the role of M. And Denzel's awesome. I like anything that he's in, just anything that he's in. Yeah.
If you were an actor, what film role would you play?
Right, I would, if it was me, I'm a massive Bond fan, and I would definitely, without a doubt, love to be Bond, but I'm too short, my nose is bust up, and I'm not, so I think I'd be a better henchman. So I could be a bad guy that doesn't say very much, that Bond gets to kill. So
that's a great shout.
I'd love to be Bond, but I would be the henchman. Okay. And that would be my thing.
How would your wife describe you, Andy?
That depends on a day-by-day or hour-by-hour basis, but she would say my worst points are I'm annoying, but she'd say I'm annoying.
Right.
Yeah, like anybody's partner would say that about them.
Yeah.
They're annoying.
Yeah.
That's the defining
That's going to happen when you're together such a lot.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Who's the nicest famous boxers you've ever met?
Anthony Joshua is really nice. Josh is really cool and very, very funny, and he's a brilliant. He takes the piss all the time, so he's really funny. I've got a great story about him actually. Not that I was going to do this, but when they were getting the TV rights for the Klitschko fight, apparently what he said was when they came in and said, "Oh, we've got the TV rights for 200 countries all tied up." And he said, "Have you got Wakanda?" Of course, the famous place from the Black Panther that doesn't exist. And the guy went back and actually searched and said, "I can't find Wakanda anywhere. I can't find Wakanda TV." And apparently everyone was laughing their heads off when they came back in. So Frank Bruno is awesome and is lovely. And it's really funny because I actually ripped his punch bag out of the ceiling. I was at Champneys and I hit the thing and it just gave way and came out. And
no way.
He just said, he just laughed in his deep laugh. I could see you've got loads of power. And to hear that from him, and I talked to him for ages in the gym, dead nice. Also, Gary Lockett is a fantastic guy. I really like him. Mm-hmm. Most boxers, I would say, are very nice, genuine people. Very nice, genuine people. Yeah. So,
they're your favourite. Who's the least favourite famous boxers you've met?
I've only met one that's been rude, and he was effing rude, and I wouldn't piss on him if he's on fire.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't, no. Barry McGuigan.
Right.
I'm not the only one that says that. My mum brought me up to not say bad things about people, so I'll not say much more about him, but Barry McGuigan, no.
Was he just really rude?
Yeah, I'll tell you why he was rude. He was there with the Amateur Boxing Association, and they were promoting the Barry McGuigan Boxing Academy. And he was giving it the big one of, "Oh, my boxing academy is great, great, great." I said, "So how many Barry McGuigan sites are there?" And he goes, 4. And I said, "Oh, yeah, nice, well done." And he said, "So how many sites are doing Boxercise?" And I said, "Well, currently it's about 2,500. And he said, 2,500? He turned away like that. And the woman that was there from the Amateur Boxing Association said, "Yeah, they're massive." And at that point he turned and just went really, really rude and nasty. And I just said, "Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?"
Okay, so what's the worst business idea you've ever had, Andy?
Oh, I've had many that have been absolutely bloody awful. The worst business idea I ever had, right, I thought, before we run a training course, we allow people to turn up for a 2-hour masterclass to try Boxercise, to give it a go, see what they think, and we just charge them 15 quid. If they then come to that, we then take that, and they want to stay, we then take that 15 quid off the course fee. Turns out, people who want a course, they want training. They don't want to do a masterclass, they don't want to mess around, they've already made up their mind, they're intelligent enough already. I underestimated people's decision-making capability, and I ran it, and I actually sold 2 places. I expected to be flooded, so I was an idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, I was an idiot.
But on the flip side, I guess at least you didn't waste loads of time doing that, because would that have...
No, I destroyed that idea as quick as it came. I did it twice, that was it. Yeah. Didn't work.
Good.
Didn't work at all. But you live and learn.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
What parts of your job do you hate then, Andy?
Oh, admin. One thing I've noticed, having been self-employed for 30 years, is the change in amount of government red tape. Specifically, things have to match this standard, they have to do that. It's estimated, back when the Blair government came in '96, we were doing 2 hours of red tape per week. For a self-employed person now, that's gone up to 16 hours. So 2 full days is just dealing with government red tape. I hate that part of my job.
Okay.
It just seems totally non-productive to me. Admin to help people, I don't mind that. But government red tape, I don't like that.
Okay.
That's hard.
Yeah. What's the best part of your job?
Teaching people face-to-face. Doing it on Zoom is okay. Doing online coaching, that works. It's effective. But without any doubt, I interact face-to-face and with people much, much better. And you can have a laugh.
Yeah.
And you meet people. So I really enjoy meeting different people. And not so much the people who are really, really good at it, but often the people that are borderline or struggle, and you can give them some help so that they're able to do something they didn't think they were capable of. Giving people confidence that they didn't previously have.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So if someone's just starting out doing Boxercise, what's the best advice you could give them?
If they're new to the fitness industry, in any case, join lots of Facebook groups, swap ideas, get ideas from others, but also, this is really important, contribute. If you don't contribute, people won't give you things back. They just think that you're a taker.
What's your ring walk tune then?
Well, when I was boxing, it was In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm a massive Phil Collins fan. I've seen him a couple of times, and I really like that bit where the drum goes that.
Yes.
And I love that. But the truth is that, you know, at a lot of boxing shows, you don't have a ring walk. You just, you don't have ring walk music. You just go in, you get on with it. At some shows where they have a bit more production, they might have a smoke machine, and if they give you a choice of music, Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight. That was my thing.
So what injuries have you had when boxing?
I've broken all of my knuckles more than once. Both scaphoids a couple of times. My nose is just a mess. It's just, there's nothing left of the nasal septum.
Just to point out, this is not doing Boxercise, this is boxing.
Yeah, this is when I was competing. Other injuries as well, obviously leg injuries from running, things like that, plantar fasciitis, bad knees, bad ankles. My ankles kill me now. I've got stab wounds up and down my arms from when I've been working, doing other jobs, but it wasn't as bad as the other job that I told you about.
Right.
But yeah, I've had lots and lots of injuries. At any given time, anyone that's actively involved in sport, I would say, is constantly injured. And at the moment I'm carrying a brachialis injury, 2 ankles are injured, and this knee's hurting like hell. So I'm just constantly injured.
Oh, Andy!
Fitness is great for you, don't get me wrong, but competitive sport wrecks your body. So yeah, a lot of injuries, a lot. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So what's your favourite food to eat then?
Indian, definitely.
Yeah.
Hot, spicy. I've got to be really careful what I eat though, because I'm allergic to quite a few foods. Melon I'm hyper allergic to.
Oh really?
Mango, so no mango chutney.
Oh,
yeah, tell me about
gutted.
it. No mango chutney. Pear, fig, there's a couple of other things, banana. I've got to be really careful, but I've been blue lighted to hospital, and it's not
Because
just
of the
allergies. Also due to very, very severe asthma.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's funny actually. I was talking to a friend of mine. He showed me the NHS app and said, "Oh, you should get this because you can order your prescriptions through this." So I did, and I got it, and it said incidence, and mine was 500 plus. That's obviously the maximum they can go to.
Wow.
And he showed me his, he was on 14.
Oh
and
my gosh.
And he's a professional rugby player, or was. And mine's, and he said, you're quite hard to keep alive, aren't you? But I carry medication with me everywhere I go. I've always got medication within 5 seconds of where I am. I have to have that. I'm also allergic to bees. There's a dead hornet over there as well behind the boxing ring.
Oh yeah.
It's about that big.
Oh God.
Can you see
it's
it?
Huge.
It's
So if you could meet someone dead or alive, who would it be?
Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh yeah?
I admire her more than any other. Oh, well, I admire my wife and my daughter more than any other living human, but I meet them on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Of the people I haven't met, Her Majesty the Queen.
Okay.
So many years in service, she conducts herself with dignity in the face of adversity. I think she's wonderful.
Okay.
I think she's absolutely wonderful.
Who inspires you the most in sport then?
Not the people that you would think.
Oh right.
So doing what I've done, I've coached many hundreds of international athletes. Being a squad coach for athletics, we'll quite often have squad weekends where there's 100 athletes that are all either international or just sub-international. So that you've got them every year. So there's many of them. They don't really inspire me because they're the people I mix with all the time. Elite boxers I mix with all the time. That doesn't inspire me. What inspires me is the disabled kid that's able to stand and walk. The one that plays bocce, you know, the game where they throw to the target.
Yeah.
Those kids inspire me. The people who struggle. And for those people that have motor skills deficits and they're able to take part in sport, they inspire me a hell of a lot more than any
Kid, what did you want to be when you grow up then?
Not a fitness instructor, not a boxer, not an athlete. I think there's a couple of things. I wanted to be the world's fastest man, the world's strongest man, but above everything else, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Oh, really?
And I used to get in trouble at school for it as well, because when I was 10 years old, I was reading astrophysics and cosmology and things like that. I get physics, I'm good at that kind of thing. So I used to read those sorts of books, and my teacher was forever telling me off for not reading novels. But the novels I was given at 10-year-old were things like Fungus the Bogeyman. Right. And I'm like, huh? I was reading something that was far more interesting to me, and I got in trouble because I didn't read the books that they wanted me to.
What would your advice be to someone who's brand new to running a business?
I've got a really good answer to this. I'd write this one down if you're watching this too. Never be afraid to do a deal that you're not happy with. I'll tell you why. So we're doing a deal. The best kind of deal that we can do is that you're happy and I'm happy. The second best kind of deal we can do is you're not happy and I'm not happy. But if I'm happy and you're not happy, that deal will never hold up because somebody's been screwed over. So what you've got to do is you've got to not be afraid to do a deal that you're not happy with. Aim for happiness, but if you're both unhappy, no one's been screwed.
Okay, amazing.
That's the best advice you can get. That was given to me by someone much more experienced than me when I was new to business.
Okay.
And I've lived by that.
So, say you've got two athletes come to you. One wants to be an Olympic boxer and one wants to be an Olympic pole vaulter. Who would you take on board?
It's difficult actually because I love both sports. I would go with the pole vaulter, and I'll tell you why. Because it's measurable, and there are many cases in boxing where we could box and I might beat you, but the judges don't see it that way. Where something is judged quantitatively rather than qualitatively, there's an absolute thing. If you beat me by 1 centimetre, you've beat me. And I don't like the disappointment of seeing many boxers that I've coached have something taken away from them by myopic judges.
Okay.
So it can be incredibly frustrating. So
Okay.
I'd go with the athlete.
Amazing. Have you got a favourite saying or anything you use for the instructors that you coach?
Yeah, I do. And I use this, I think I teach this on every course that I teach. It's a really good one as well. To be brilliant at anything, you don't actually need to be brilliant at anything. You just need to be able to do all of the small things very, very well indeed. So a lot of people say to me, oh, you're an attention to detail guy. Why are you bothered about that? Why are you bothered about that? All these small things add up to brilliance.
So back when you started Boxercise, did you expect it to become this huge thing to become over the years?
No, absolutely not. The truth is, and this answers the question everybody asks, how did it start? It started as a group of people after a boxing club who wanted to do boxing training, but not necessarily fight. They saw us training in a boxing ring, and they didn't want to get beat up like that. So we had rugby players, football players, swimmers. They wanted to do the fitness, but they didn't want to do that. So it began as just a group of 10 friends, then 20, then 30, then it became like 60 or something like that. Then I had people coming to me asking, can you train us to teach it? And then I thought, I might be onto something here. And I could, because I've been working in coach education for athletics since I was 17 years old. So I'd already been doing it for 6 years. So although I've coached boxing for 32 years, Boxercise for 30, I've been coaching athletics for 38 years now.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't think it would become as big as it did, not in any way, shape or form. It's still a surprise to me, to be honest, and one that I'm very grateful for. I don't think it would spread to 50 plus countries. There's no way could I have ever predicted that.
Wow, and now it's the #1 in boxing fitness.
It's been the #1 since 1996.
Has
really.
it?
Yeah, it's officially recognised as the #1 in boxing fitness since 1996. We've been #1 for 26 years. But there is more competition now, but still we're the #1 by... I think that we probably, if you add everybody else up together, they don't train as many people as we train. If you add all of them together...
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's quite a big difference.
Well, listen, Andy, thank you so much for letting me ask you these 30 questions. I know you're usually a very private man, so thank you.
Cheers, Beth.
Lovely to see you. See you soon.
Thanks, guys.